In the previous two videos, I've tried to demonstrate how context is essential to the teaching of grammar. Before a new grammar point can be introduced, there needs to be a meaningful context presented to the learner in order for the learner to understand that target language. And so, referring back to the PPP methodology, the learner has been presented with the language and is now at the stage where they need to practice the language. And the practice is divided into two parts. The first part is a very controlled or restricted type of practice, which is called accuracy. And that leads on to a freer kind of practice called fluency. In this example, we can see accuracy practice because the learner is required to complete the sentence with the word many or much. It's a very restricted exercise which lets the teacher see whether the learners have actually understood the difference between how many and how much. And so this is a good time for what we call hot feedback, which basically means if the learner is off track, the teacher can correct them right away. And then after completing the questions and having confirmed that the questions are indeed correct, the learners are then asked to read the questions to each other. And the point of this is to make sure that the learners know how to pronounce the target language properly. Alright, so that, as you can see, this kind of really restricted practice is what we call controlled practice. The next stage in the PPP cycle is to produce. And in order to produce the language freely, we need to give our learners freer practice. And this is called fluency practice. So you can see the next task is called speaking. Work in groups, ask and answer the questions using the prompts. So remembering that the level is elementary, the learner doesn't have a whole lot of English to draw on, so we give them some prompts and we expect that the learners are able to formulate a question using how much and how many without necessarily having to write down the question beforehand. This is how we challenge or push the learner to use that language in a freer way. So, of course, the students or the learners will be asking each other questions such as how many biscuits do you eat in a week? Or how much fruit do you eat in a week? And of course, the other learners in the group are listening and responding, and everyone is writing down the response in this table. And so this is really the way the PPP cycle plays out in the textbook, and I'm going to summarize this in the next video.